You are listening to Practical and Woo by Mindset and Manifest. My name is Eden, and I invite you to embark on a journey with me to explore the practical and spiritual edges of the unknown for the purpose of allowing you to embody and empower yourself uniquely as you are and to intentionally create and live a life of freedom and fulfillment. Each week, I am going to discuss topics such as energetics, reality creation, manifestation, astrology, tarot, and more to help empower you to live beyond perceived limitations and to practically design your life so it feels like absolute magic every step of the way. Let's dive in. Well, hello, brilliant soul. If this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Eden, and I am your fellow traveler on this journey through this wildly intelligent universe where your inner world, your nervous system, your self-concept, and your frequency are constantly writing the script of your life. Today's musings invite us to dive into a particular concept that has tickled my mind lately. It's the idea that you don't get what you want. You get what you're interested in. You get the equivalent of who you're being. So in this world of manifesting your fulfilling dream life, which we are all about here at Practical and Woo, this is a particular concept that offers a framework for making that happen. And allow me to say it one more time. You don't get what you're wanting out of life. You get what you're focused on. You receive the equivalent of the person you're choosing to be. Now, this isn't only a reality creation concept. It isn't only energetics or psychology or identity work. It's actually all of it. It's what I'm going to call the backbone of creation, a tender truth that transforms your someday goals into a current, present embodiment. This is also not a concept that permits us to bypass pain, confusion, or mistakes, but it does give you a portal into your power, an accessible portal that can help you point your manifestation prowess towards the due north of success and mastery. And if you're ready to have this kind of conversation, the one that asks you to take full authorship of your frequency while also nurturing the scared parts that still want proof before they believe, then stay with me. Let's go deep. To uncover this concept fully, it's first important to distinguish between wanting and being. Wanting is an energetic expression that is often tied to separation. It's a recognition that you are not yet where you desire, or you do not yet have what you desire. Being, on the other hand, is equivalent to presence, its wholeness. The state of being is this embodiment that proclaims that you are, and therefore you already have everything that you're wanting. Perhaps not yet physically, but it's this sense of certainty that everything you're wanting is unfolding in your life. It's already there. You can taste it. It's an essence that you have access to. It also is this sense that you already are the person who has what you're wanting. And I understand the nuance of this and the potential confusion that it can create. You might say, Eden, I don't have what I'm wanting, and that's why I'm trying to manifest it. And I totally hear you. I've been there. And I want to remind you of the nuance and the paradox of energetics and manifestation mastery. So here's the radical shift I'm inviting you to contemplate. You can want something deeply and still never become a match for it. Because where wanting says, I don't have it, I don't have this, being says, it's already me and therefore mine. There were times when I said I wanted love, but I was being insecure. There was times where I said I wanted abundance, but I was being anxious about spending. There were times that I said I wanted peace, but I was being addicted to drama loops in my mind. Can you see where there may be a gap between wanting and being? If you had asked me I would have sworn that I was working towards all of those things, that I was manifesting and wondering why it wasn't working. But the truth is, you are never working toward your manifestation. You are always working from your current state in which you're being right here, right now. And you always have the choice and the ability to choose something new, something that feels like the version of you that already has what you're wanting. So the question is not, how do I get what I want? The question is, who am I being while I want this? Because this is what your life is organizing itself around. Now let's talk about the role of focus. You do not get what you say you want. You get what you are interested in, and where and what you allow your attention to linger upon. Focus is an energetic currency. It subtly communicates this right here, what I'm paying attention to or looking at is what I want more of. It's the time where we think we're focused on love, but we're actually focused on rejection. It's the time we think we're focused on wealth, but we're actually focused on lack. It's the time we think we're focused on healing, but we're actually focused on everything that's still broken. So, what are you emotionally, somatically, energetically interested in? It's not what you say you're interested in. It's the subject that has your attention captured, the parts of your experience where you're dwelling or ruminating. There's a quote that's coming up for me, and I apologize because I'm not certain of who said it, but it's something to the effect of, worry is a prayer for something you do not want. If you think about it, the act of worrying is as strong and as magnetic of a force as faith is, but it's just running in reverse. In the same way, curiosity about your worst case scenarios or obsession with people who don't understand you, a fascination with lack, or an addiction to proving yourself, all of these things are forms of focus that carry the creative power in your world. So it's safe to recall and remember that your life, as you're presently experiencing it, is neither a punishment nor a judgment of your worth. It's simply a reflection of who you've been being. This is why we often say that reality is like a mirror, and we can also think of it like an echo chamber or a biofeedback loop. Your thoughts, your somatic state, your emotional patterns, your self-image, all of it is constantly creating a resonance, like a tuning fork, that is then seen, observed, experienced, and witnessed in your external world. If you've been repeating the pattern of people misunderstanding you, then you can ask, where might have I been misunderstanding myself? If money feels hard to receive, you might ask, where am I still not allowing ease to flow within me? If you're not being chosen, you might ask, where am I still not choosing myself? Again, this isn't about blame. It's not about blaming yourself or others. This is authorship. The more you resist what's showing up for you, the more you're unwilling to face it, the more you allow yourself to remain stuck in a loop. But the moment that you see your external experience as a mirror is the moment that you stop arguing with it, and then you give yourself the agency to choose something new, to change your point of attraction from the inside out. Now, here's where things get interesting, because your beingness isn't just a mindset, it's a nervous system signature. Your state of being is felt beneath your thoughts. It's how safe you feel to receive, how open your heart is to love, how anchored you are in your worth when no one is looking. This is why affirmations don't always work. If your body doesn't believe it, the words have nowhere to land. You might affirm, I am abundant. And if your body is clenched in the face of that affirmation, if your mind is avoiding the possibility of anything else, if your breath is shallow or your jaw is tight when you're saying it, then that means your state of being is pointed towards the lack of abundance. So how do we shift this? You start by starting gently, with a breath, with nervous system regulation, with practices that open your inner landscape to the possibility of something new. So here's a beingness practice that I want to share with you called a somatic shift. If it's safe for you to do so and you're able to focus on this right now, then feel free to join me. If not, earmark the timestamp of this episode and return to it when you can give it your full attention. Place one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Breathe in for the count of 4, hold for 4, and exhale for the count of 8. Ask yourself, if I already had this thing that I desire, how would I sit? How would I breathe? How would I walk into the room? Practice being that version of yourself for just 2 minutes. You don't need to force it. You just need to give yourself permission to experience it, even the tiniest bit of it. And the more you practice, the more that this state of being becomes your new normal. The coolest part is when your reality catches up to who you're being. That's where the real magic is. As humans, a lot of our wanting is performative. We say we want love, but we perform perfection. We say we want success, but we perform stress and over-efforting. We say we want freedom, but we perform guilt and control. So this is where the real work begins. Consider who you are being when you're not performing, when you're alone. Consider who you're being when you're disappointed, when things aren't working out as you're expecting them to. Because this behind the scenes version of you is the version that your life is responding to. Your nervous system doesn't lie. Energy doesn't lie. Your creations are always honest reflections of your essence, not your facade. And so the invitation is this. Can you become more interested in being the version of you who lives the life you're wanting than you are in appearing like everything is already okay? Are you willing to comb through the discomfort of admitting that you don't have it all sorted in order to build the you who does? I admit this can feel like subtle work, but it changes everything because your identity is not who you think you are. It's who you are being when you forget to perform. It's the assumptions you return to in the quiet of your mind. It's the stories you believe without trying to force them. The energy you emit when you're not trying to manifest anything at all. And so the real transformation doesn't come from thinking different thoughts. It comes from becoming the next iteration of yourself. The iteration of you who has everything you're asking for. When you become the person who already has it, it doesn't feel like chasing. It feels like arriving. And from that place, you magnetize, you radiate, you embody the resonance of your next chapter. So you might be wondering, what do you do when you know you're not quite being the version you want to be? Here's my invitation. Don't rush. Don't force, don't shame yourself because you are allowed to be in process. But you can also be in process as the future version of you. You can even be in process as the version of you who is learning to be the next iteration of you. Here's what I mean. Let's say the version of you who is already loved, seen, and chosen wouldn't chase, wouldn't over-explain, wouldn't spiral into self-doubt, at least not often. And you acknowledge that you're still chasing, over-explaining, and frequently self-doubting. Consider, can you catch yourself 10% sooner when you're chasing? And can you choose to draw your energy back to yourself instead of projecting it outwards when you're reacting? Can you choose one micro moment of self-trust today? Can you soften the spiral with one hand on your heart and a deep breath, and then remind yourself that you've got your own back? That's starting the shift. I want to invite you to consider one area of your life where you feel like you're not receiving what you want. When you have an idea of what this area is, I want you then to consider who you have been being in this area of your life. What are the thoughts, the emotions, the opinions, and beliefs you've been holding on to about this subject? And what's one tiny way that you could become the version of you who already has it? How does this iteration of you respond to life? What beliefs do they have about this subject? What thoughts do they think? If you feel called, invite yourself on a 10-minute walk as if your deepest desire already exists in your life and that you're already the person who has it. Feel it as real and allow yourself to experience seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, the experience of already having what you're wanting. On this walk, notice the sensations of your body. Notice what your mind invites you to focus on. Notice any downloads or nuggets of inspiration that fill you up. Notice how your spine straightens as you become the person who already has this fulfilling, magical, and masterful life. The next step is to dedicate yourself to practicing. Remember, if you're currently experiencing the opposite of what you're wanting, know that you're not broken. Know that you're not behind. Know that you are simply experiencing the reflection of your current resonance, which can be transformed in any moment you choose. It can change in an instant, in a breath, and in a simple choice to return to who you really are. So, the next time you find yourself wanting something, I invite you to pause and ask, am I willing to become the version of myself who already has this? Because that's where the real magic lies. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. And I believe in the beauty of who you're becoming. Until next time.